Okay, everybody, welcome to our critical play of Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities. What we're going to do is go through a solo scenario game. And solo games are played over the course of 3 scenarios. You're playing against the black arena units. You pick one city. In our case, we've picked El Dorado. You could pick Xanadu or you could pick Atlantis as well. And different than in a player versus player, at the beginning of the game, you choose 6 random gladiators, so we shuffled up and randomized these, and 1 random tactic. And those are the only units you will get for this first part of the scenario. Your champion starts inactive, just like player versus player. You have a crowd favor scale with 3 random tactics and 1 random gladiator, just like player versus player. However, differently, the arena does not have a crowd favor scale to deal with as well. It's just ours. So as we achieve these units or these levels, we'll get those chips ourselves. Now, the interesting thing about solo play is we have to kill this boss, and our boss is Vannesh. Vannesh is a criminal with 10 health. He rolls 2 black, 2 blue, and a yellow die, and he has an ability called Shadow Spear. We'll get into that in a second. The champions actually retain their health. So what's going to happen is our goal is to kill Vannesh. Once we kill him, then the scenario's done. If I am left with 1 health on my champion, that's what I have for the next 2 scenarios. So it gets very challenging very fast, but I like it because A, it plays very fast. B, it's very, very simple to pick up, and even though it is a little different than player versus player, it provides just as fun of an experience. But because it moves so quickly, you can play through a solo game fairly fast through all 3 scenarios and really get a lot of enjoyment out of the time that you're going to sit down and spend, whether you play 1 game or whether you play 5. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and start playing, and we'll explain how things move as we play the game. So in a solo game, I'm going to go first. I said, again, that we randomized all of our gladiators, and we have 1 tactic. Just so you know what we have one of the city gladiators, which is the El Dorado de Macarius. He has Fury Aura and Stun. Fury Aura allows me to do 1 damage to all units within 1 hex. And Stun allows me to roll a blue die, and on a hit, then the unit's stunned, and they can't move, attack, or use abilities. I have 2 Tacticians, which have Initiative, which means they can move the turn they come out. They cannot attack, but they can move. And they have Strategic Attack, which will help me add a yellow die to any basic attack that any one of my adjacent units will perform. I have a Defender, which has a single black die as an attack, and Intercept Blow, which allows me to basically block, like a tank, 1 attack per turn on an adjacent unit. And Reposition, which instead of attacking means I can move him around, which is good because he's slow. He only has a movement of 1. I have an Attacker who has the Retaliate ability, which means when he's hit, he'll deal a damage back. And the Whirlwind ability, which allows him to roll a blue die for each adjacent unit and do that damage to each unit adjacent to him. And then an Archer who allows for First Strike and Long Shot. First Strike means that they can attack the turn they come into play, and Long Shot means that he can shoot someone with a single yellow die as an alternate attack up to 4 hexes away. In addition, our 1 tactic is the Bolster Health, which is add 2 health to a friendly non-champion unit. Really wish that was champion, but if that's the biggest complaint I have, I think I'm okay. All right, so we've laid out the game. We have 2 arena units, a criminal and a beast, and then Vannesh is our boss. So let's dig in and see how this goes. So for turn 1, I'm going to go ahead and start off a little defensively and put out actually, you know what? I think I'll go a little offensive. I'll go up here and I'll put my attacker out. Let's just get right into the mix of things. Now, the attackers don't have first strike and don't have initiative. So the only thing I'm going to do on my turn is first check if I have any crowd favor, which I don't. I don't have anyone on these 2, and I haven't killed anyone this turn. I then deploy my units, I then move. I can't move anybody because my champion's inactive and he can't move the turn he comes in. And that's the end of my turn. So very quick turn 1. Now we'll show you how the bosses move and the arena units move. The way I like to play is I move my arena units first and then my boss. So we'll walk through this one by one. So you have 2 dice, a red and a white die. In criminals' cases, they have the ability called champion bound. And what that means is if you're playing with multiple players against the arena, you would roll dice and they would bind themselves to a champion, meaning when they would move towards that player's champion. In this case, there's only myself playing El Dorado, so they're only going to move towards El Dorado. So we'll go ahead and roll 1 die. On a 1, they don't move at all. On a 2 through 5, they'll move 1 hex, and on a 6, they'll move 2 hexes. So since we rolled a 4, we'll go ahead and move him 1 space forward towards our champion. He could go here as well, but I would prefer him to go this way. The reason I would prefer him to go that way is if he were to end up adjacent to any of my units, he would become engaged and he would attack. And when he attacks, all bosses and champions, all bosses and all units will actually attack everything adjacent to them. So coming this way, he'll move towards this hex next if I leave my champion there or if he doesn't move, so I won't have to worry about my attacker getting hit. So then we roll for the beast. The beast moves a little different. We roll 2 dice. And what you do is you take the white die first and the red die second, and you compare it to the die chart right here. You'll notice there is a die in the middle and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 around the outside. The red die represents where your character is, and the dice rolls around it represent where they move to or where they roam to, because the idea is the beasts are roaming around the arena. So we move to the 3, which would be up here. We'd go 1, 2, 3, so he moves there. And then we'd move to the 1, which would be up here. So it seems a little weird at first, but it's actually a really nice mechanic because not all beasts are extremely intelligent and will tactically or strategically corner you. It very much resembles ancient Rome or ancient Greece, and these things are just prowling around the arena waiting for you to come after them or possibly going after you. Now, beasts do have the ability called combat lock. And what that means is once someone is adjacent to them, they're going to engage in combat, and you cannot disengage until the unit is dead or until your unit dies. Other units can engage with it, but it just means that the ones that are already engaged have to stay there. Now, the difference in that is that the criminals, they will attack when they engage, but units can move away from them and disengage as well. Now, if I was playing Xanadu or Atlantis, I can pull or hurl or pull people away and disengage that way. But in this case, we're playing El Dorado, and we don't have those abilities, so we won't get into that crazy fun. So let's go ahead and roll for Vannesh. Vannesh is a criminal, so we roll 1 die. On a 4, he'll move 1 space closer to our champion. Now, in addition, you have to roll to see what attacks happen from your bosses. So we'll roll a d6. On a 1 through 6, he will perform his basic attack. He would roll a black, black, blue, blue, and yellow, which is a massive amount of dice. It would be that amount of dice, and he would roll, just for giggles, he would hit for 4, and anyone adjacent to him would be hit for 4 damage. The reason you want to roll for this is that the bosses all have on a 6 a very special attack. Vanesh's case is he has a shadow spear. On a shadow spear, you roll both movement dice, and in each space, so in this case the 5 and then the 4, which would be, let's see, here and then here, these 2 spaces would get hit with a shadow spear, and anything adjacent to them or anything in those spaces would take 2 damage. It's a pretty brutal attack. Okay, so at the beginning of our turn 2, we do not draw new chips. Again, these are the only 6 gladiators and the only tactic we're going to get to start out with. And again, we don't have to necessarily kill these 2 units. We have to kill the boss. So with my first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to check, see if I have crowd favor. I don't have crowd favor. I don't draw because I don't have to worry about that in a solo game. And then I would deploy and use any tactics. So I'm going to go ahead. I have the choice of either deploying tacticians, the defender, the archer, or the Demicarius. And I think I'm actually going to go ahead and deploy the Demicarius. He has 3 health, and we're actually going to put him over here. And then we're going to go ahead and move. Now, he can't move. He could use his ability if he wanted, but the Fury Aura only hits within 1, so he's not going to do that. So the attacker will actually come 1 and 2, or 1 and 2 right there. Should I do that, or should I go for the crowd favor? I think I'm going to come up here because I'm going to try and come up and around and get to the boss. So we'll do that. We'll do 1 and 2. I can't move my champion again because he's inactive. I can't use his Enraged Fury Aura either because he's inactive. If he was, I could use his Enraged Fury Aura and deal 1 damage to the Arena Criminal, but I can't. So we'll go ahead and end our turn right there. We'll go to the arena. The arena will move. We'll roll for the Arena Criminal. We get a 3, so he moves 1 space closer, and he will be engaged, so he'll be attacking this turn. We'll roll for the Beast. And we'll go white first and red second. So the white will move me to the 1 space, and then the red will move me to the 4 space. So he just roams right back to the space he was in. And then we will roll 1 die for Vannesh, our boss. He has a 1, so he does not move. We'll go ahead and roll for his attack. He gets a 2. Basic attack, no one's adjacent. I know this may seem like I'm just rolling through the motions, but I want you guys to see the familiarity of what you would do each turn. I like to do this every turn just to remind myself of what should be happening in case I were to ever miss or forget or do anything like that. Not that I make any mistakes. So, it's now on to our turn 3. So turn 3. Well, sorry, before I move on to turn 3, I have to attack with my criminal. I almost forgot about that. So he does a black, a blue, and a yellow. We'll go ahead and roll. He hits for 1. That is a great roll for me, and here's why. The 1 health comes off, but more importantly, my champion is now active, which is really good. So that, apart from taking a massive amount of health, was probably a really good situation for us. So now it's the beginning of my turn 3. So I know I'm going to be able to do 1 damage with my Enraged Fury Aura. I know I'm going to be able to roll 2 black dice as my main attack to also do possibly 2 damage. So if I hit with both and hit my Fury Aura, that'll do 3 damage to him. He has 4 health, so it's good, but not that great. So here's what we're going to do. I am actually going to move up 1 here. Sorry, I can't move yet. I have to deploy. I will spend 5 and bring out my defender. Then I will move my Enraged Fury Aura Champion Soulhire there. I will move my Democarius 1, 2, and 3 right here. And then I will move my attacker 1, 2 right here. So I'm kind of flanking around the beast, hoping that he won't come after me up there. Now, this is going to get me a crowd favor over here, which is going to be helpful. The Enraged Fury Aura will then go off for an ability perspective, and I'll do 1 damage there. Now you may say, but Tox, that's not very aggressive. No, it's not very aggressive. But I'm hoping that he either rolls a 1, or if he doesn't roll a 1, my defender is going to be able to block off some of the damage if he attacks on the next turn. So that's the end of my turn, and we'll take over for the arena. So we'll roll 1 die for this Arena Criminal. We roll a 5. So we're going to move him here, 1 space closer. Now, I don't have to be here to intercept the blow. I just have to have my defender adjacent to the attacked unit. And I want to move here because I don't want the damage to go to both of them. Then we'll go ahead and roll for our beast, and we'll get a 6 and a 3. The 6 will move him here, and the 3 will move him back. So he's just kind of pacing around, waiting. And then we'll go ahead and roll for Vannesh. Vannesh rolls a 3, so he'll move 1 step closer towards the champion, Soulhire. That's the end of turn 3. So now we'll go on to turn 4. Beginning of turn 4, I have a crowd favor, so I'll move up by 1. I'll then go in to deploy my units, and I think what I'm actually going to do is go ahead and bring out one of my Tacticians. Oh, wait, totally forgot. Again, I just keep forgetting about this. Let's go ahead and attack with the Arena Criminal on my champion. 2 damage. See, that's what I get for doing that. Alright, so 2 damage will come off Soulhire. So he's had 3 damage taken right now. Do I want to do that, or do I want my defender to intercept blow? That's right. I want my defender to intercept blow. So we'll take the 2 damage off and put it right there. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? Well, I think the first thing we'll do is we'll use our tactic, bolster health. Add 2 health to a friendly non-champion unit. So we'll go ahead and add that 2 health back to our defender. And we will then move. Let's see here. I think we'll come up 1, 2 with our attacker to be adjacent to Vannesh. I think we will go 1, 2, 3 to come around. Now the reason I have to go around that way, and he does have 3 movement, is if I go here, I'm engaged and I have to stop. So 1, 2, 3, and we'll be engaged there. And then we'll move Soulhire up 1, and we'll move our defender up 1 as well. And now I get to do a lot of attacking. So the first thing we'll deal with is over here. Enraged Fury Aura will go off and we'll deal 1 damage to the Arena Criminal. Then we'll roll 2 black dice for Soulhire's main attack. We'll hit with both, and that will kill that criminal. So he's dead and gone. We'll get 2 crowd favor for killing a unit. And the Eldorado Defender, since he did not attack and did not need to intercept blow or anything like that, he can use his reposition, which allows him to move 1 space. So we'll move him right there. Now we're going to go after Vannesh. So the first thing we'll do is, should I stun the Arena Beast and attack with Vannesh? I think that might be a good idea. So let's go ahead and try and stun the Arena Beast. With a blue die, we'll roll, and we'll hit, so he's stunned. What I like to do is turn them over like that to remind me that they're stunned until the beginning of the next turn. Now what that means is he can't move, and he can't attack, and he can't use any abilities. Then we'll go ahead and attack with the Eldorado attacker, who is a blue, a black, and a yellow, against Vannesh, and we'll hit for 2. 1, 2. So we'll do 2 damage to Vannesh. And finally, we'll use the Fury Aura and take 1 damage off of him and 1 damage off of him, which is really nice. Fury Aura, really, really good. Really, really fun. Go ahead and pull me all day you want, Atlantis, and go ahead and hurl me all day you want, Xanadu. Fury Aura is really good. Okay, so that will be the end of our turn. Now, whenever a unit is destroyed from the arena, on their next turn, they have to deploy a new unit. So if we were to destroy 2 units would deploy. In this case, we destroyed 1, so 1 unit will deploy. We'll go ahead and draw a random one off the top. We get another Arena Criminal. And what we do is we roll a single 1d6. We roll a 3. So they either come in on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 on any one of those trapdoors. In this case, they come in on the 3. And since he is adjacent to my champion, he will be considered engaged. So he will go ahead and stay there and not move, but he will engage in combat with my champion. That champion, or that criminal, I constantly say champion. That criminal will not attack because he just came into play this turn from that trapdoor. Okay, so now we have to roll for Vannesh. And Vannesh, if you remember from the beginning, on a 1 to 6, he's going to perform his basic attack. And on a 6, he'll perform a Shadow Spear. So we get a 2. So he's going to perform his basic attack. Now, I don't sound too thrilled around this because I have 2 black, 1 yellow, and 2 blue, and he's going to damage everybody around him. So let's see what happens here. Survey says 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and both of my units die. Now I do get the retaliate, so 1 damage does come off of Vannesh, but that's 2 units, and he is still at a little over half health. So pretty rough. Okay, that is the end of the arena, and on to our turn. So I think now we're going to end up having to use Soulhire's ability here. We'll go ahead and do this and unstun our beast. We will have to start using Soulhire's Enraged Fury Aura and the attack and start doing some pretty massive damage. So let's go ahead and bring out our archer. Bring him out right here. Again, since this is a criminal and not a beast, I can disengage from where I am and move. So I think we will go ahead. We'll move here. We'll move here. We can't move with the archer, and we can't attack anyone. So actually thinking about that, it's probably better to have him come in over here. So we'll do that. We'll have him come in over here. These guys will move from there to there, and we will start launching attacks. So we can use our main attack because we're 2 away here. So we'll use our black and our yellow on the archer. And remember, he does have first strike, so that lets us use it when he comes into play. And we'll hit for 1, so we'll take 1 damage off of the criminal. Then we'll go ahead and attack with 2 black from Soul Hire onto the criminal as well. And we'll hit for 1, which was not great. And then we'll go ahead and enrage Fury Aura and take 1 more damage off of the criminal. So the criminal's going to live to fight another day, so to speak. We're not going to attack with the defender, so we'll reposition him onto the crowd favor scale, or onto the crowd favor hex, excuse me. And that will be the end of our turn. So we do not deploy any new units because we didn't kill any old units. But we do go ahead and roll for the beast movement. Now the criminal is engaged, so he's not going to move. So we'll roll for the beast. White first means a 6, which means he goes this way, and he will engage right there, and that will be the end of his movement. Vannesh will go ahead and move, and we'll roll a 1, which is great. That means he does not move at all. We'll roll for his attack. He gets a 1, so he would perform a basic attack, and there's nothing adjacent, so we don't have to worry about that. But now both the criminal and the beast will go ahead and attack. So I'm going to choose for the criminal to go first, and I'll explain why after I roll his attack of black, yellow, and blue. He hits for 2. So normally our champion would take that, but we'll go ahead and intercept blow here, and we'll take 2 off of our tank. Then the arena beast would attack, and he is going to attack the defender automatically. He rolls 1, so the defender takes 1. And the reason I did it that way is I wanted to just make sure that all the damage coming from him went to him first, and he didn't do anything crazy to kill him. Now, statistically, he couldn't, but just as an example, it's just kind of nice to make sure you can take and deflect any damage from your champion to your tank, and then let your tank just take it and die if he needs to. Alright, so it's on to our turn, and I think we're going to deploy a Tactician. I mean, why not? It's all we have. We'll go ahead and deploy a Tactician right here. Now, Tacticians have initiative, which means they can move on the turn that they come into play. We do gain 1 crowd favor, I forgot about that, from being on that hex. Now this is interesting. So if we were to move our champion here, he would become combat locked with that beast. And we really need to get in to get Vannesh. But let's go ahead and do it anyway. So we'll move up 1 right there. We have to stay here. We can't move because we're combat locked. The Eldorado Archer will actually stay right there. And the Tactician is going to move 1, 2, 3 right here. You know what? I think I'll actually move my Archer up 1. And this isn't a risk. Now remember I said when arena units attack, they attack everything adjacent. So if this arena criminal would attack on the next turn, he would hit my champion, he would hit the Tactician, and he would hit the Archer. But that's not going to be a problem, because in addition to the initiative and the strategic attack abilities that the Eldorado Tacticians have, they also have the ability to do 1 damage without rolling as their basic attack. So they'll automatically do 1 damage to our arena criminal. We will gain 2 crowd favor, and we will get a chip, which is bolster attack range. Increase a non-champion unit's attack range by 1. So that's pretty good. That could help us with our Archer to track down Vannesh. So then we will go ahead and do our Fury Aura. We'll do our Enraged Fury Aura, and we'll do a damage to the kitty cat. We'll go ahead and roll 2 black and a yellow with Soul Hire's main attack. He gets the yellow additional because of the strategic attack from the Tactician. We'll hit for 2, and that will be enough to kill the kitty cat as well. So we'll gain 2 more crowd favor. And that will be the end of our turn. Although since we did not attack with the Eldorado Defender, we can move up. Or we could stay there and get another crowd favor. I think we'll actually stay there and not worry about moving and getting into any mixes there. So, beginning of the next turn, we will roll for a random placement. We'll get a 4, which is down here, and we will get another Arena Criminal. So we'll get 4 health and put that there. And then we'll roll again for the second one, and we'll get a 3, which is up here, and we'll get another Arena Beast. So that's really interesting, because that means the Arena Beast is combat lock with everybody. Now again, because they've just come out, they don't attack, they don't move, so they're just going to sit there for a second. And let's go ahead and roll for Vannesh. Vannesh rolls a 2. We'll move him here, and then we'll roll for his attack. He gets a 5, so he does not attack. Well, he'll do his basic attack, but there's nothing adjacent to him. So now it's our turn. This is going to be interesting, so let's see what we can do here. We can't play bolster attack range on our champion because this is non-champion units attack range. But we could go ahead and put that on our archer. May not be important this turn, but may be important next turn. So we'll go ahead and put that there. The first thing we'll do is Enraged Fury Aura. So we'll do a damage both here and 1, 2 right there. So we'll do another damage to Vannesh, which is good. And then we'll start attacking. We'll do 1 damage automatically with our Tactician. We'll go ahead and roll 2 black dice against the beast, 2 black and a yellow because of the strategic attack from Soul Hire on the beast. We'll hit for 3. That's great. So he is dead. And we get 2 more crowd favor, and we get another chip. And this one says, Hunker Down. Non-champion unit is impervious to damage until your next turn. Wish I could play that right now. So the archer will go ahead and try him 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll do a long shot as an alternate attack against Vannesh. And because it's an alternate attack, the strategic attack doesn't help. Strategic attack only adds a yellow die to a basic attack. So we'll roll a yellow die. Hey, we'll hit. That's good. We'll take 1 more damage off of Vannesh. And that will be the end of our turn. Although, I think we could do something very interesting here. I think we could lock in on Vannesh and come forward 1 right there because we didn't attack with this guy, or come forward 1 right here. We didn't attack with that guy. I think we're going to take a risk here. Let's go here so he doesn't move and come in on our champion. So we'll leave that right there. Now, you know what? I think it actually may be better to stay there. Let's stay there, and I'll explain why when the arena moves. All right, so the arena is going to need to spawn a champion or a unit on its turn. He has a 4, and there's already a unit on 4. So what happens when we roll a number that already has a unit on the trapdoor? They spawn on the next number. So 4 would go to 5. So in number 5, we get another arena criminal. We'll go ahead and draw 4 health for him and put him right here. And then we will go ahead and roll for movement. This guy does not move since he just came out. He won't attack. This guy will go ahead and roll for movement. Oof, we get a 6. 1, 2. He moves 2 spaces on a 6. We'll roll for Vannesh. We get a 1. That's really good. So Vannesh will not move. We'll roll for his attack. He's a 5. There's no one adjacent, so no one gets hit. That was really good. All right, so now it's our turn. So we can either make a unit impervious to damage until the next turn, or we could bring out a Tactician. I think what we're going to do is make a unit impervious to damage until the next turn. So we'll go ahead and actually put this on our defender right there. He'll be impervious to damage. Now that does not mean that we're like loaded to the max and we can just block every damage or every hit that comes in. Each ability can be used once each turn. So once you block or intercept the blow with the intercept blow ability, you can't do it again the rest of that turn. So you have to be very strategic on when you're going to use that ability. Now the good thing is I can use it once and he won't be hurt or killed, which is kind of nice. So let's see what we can do. I think the first thing we're going to do is we'll move Soul Hire here. 1, 2, 3, and move our Tactician here. And then 1 and move our Archer right here. Now, I wonder what the better move would be. I think the first thing to do is let's go ahead and do our Enraged Fury Aura. So we'll take 1 damage off of Vannesh, 1 damage off this criminal, and 1 damage off that criminal, because everybody is within 2 hexes of Soul Hire. The next thing we'll do is go ahead and do an automatic 1 damage from the base attack of the Tactician onto Vannesh as well. So that leaves Vannesh with 2 health. Now, if you remember, we played the bolster attack range on our Archer. Increases the non-champion's unit attack range by 1. They normally have an attack range of 1. In this case, it's 1, 2, 3. So we'll roll a black and a yellow for their base attack, and we'll go after Vannesh. Now, this could kill him, and we could win the scenario right here. Nope, we don't. It does 1 damage, so he is down to 1 health. So now we're going to go ahead and roll with Soul Hire's main attack of 2 black and a yellow. And we're going to go on top of Vannesh right here. And we hit for 2. So that's going to destroy him and kill Vannesh. And we have won Scenario 1. So that's really good. We got halfway up the crowd favor scale. We got chips that helped us, which were very helpful. And that attack range there really did do a good job helping us. But more importantly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 health on our champion. We've only taken 1 damage, which is great because that means that we start the next scenario with 9 health. Now what we would do is we would reshuffle all of our chips. We would draw 6 random gladiators to start new, 1 random tactic. We would put out a new boss and new arena units. The difference being this time around, the units would spawn 3, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So this scenario started out with 2 arena units and 1 boss. The next scenario would start out with 3 arena units and 1 boss. And the final scenario would start with 4 arena units and 1 boss. So as the game progresses in solo, it gets more aggressive, more offensive, and more important for you to be strategic in how you manage your 6 gladiators that you have access to, your 1 tactic, and the remaining crowd favorite chips that you can get to. Because while we only took 1 damage in this scenario, we will probably take more damage in scenario 2 and probably take more damage in scenario 3. So very fast paced, very fun, much different from PvP, but still provides a really fun experience. I have played this game no less than 20 times, from getting it at Gen Con and coming home and playing in PvP and PvE, or as I like to call it, PvA, since you're playing against the arena. It just provides a really fun experience, whether you're playing against another opponent or whether you're playing by yourself. In fact, many times during the day, I'll find myself thinking about tactics I can do between using Enraged Fury Aura from El Dorado, the Hurl ability from Xanadu, or the Pull ability from Atlantis to combat the arena in situations like this. We hope you enjoyed this critical play. Definitely feel free to let us know what you think. You can leave your comments here on the YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Google Plus by searching Crits Happen. You can also find us, of course, on our homepage at critshappen.com. But until then, we hope you enjoyed Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities. We hope you keep rolling those dice. And until next time, we hope they're all crits.